Morning children, and welcome back to today's class. Remember, last two classes we studied about fluids, and let us have a quick recap of what we studied in the previous class before we proceed to today's lesson. Okay, what did we study last class? We studied about atmospheric pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? It is the pressure exerted by the air that surrounds us, and we've used barometer to measure atmospheric pressure. Then we studied about Pascal's law and its application, density and relative density. Next we are going to study about floating and sinking of objects. What does floating or sinking of object depend on? It depends on the density of the object with respect to the density of liquid. Now you know some objects floats on water. If the density of the object is less than the density of the water or the liquid, it floats. Then the objects which sink in the water have greater density than the density of the liquid. In that case, it sinks. Okay, let us take a simple example. You know, plastic ball floats on the water, whereas stone sinks into the water. So density of plastic ball is less than the density of water. Stone's density is more than the density of water. So floating and sinking depends on the density of the object with respect to the density of the liquid. Okay. Icebergs float on water. Have you seen icebergs, children? Yes, at least in the picture you would have seen icebergs in Arctic and Antarctic region. Okay, part of the iceberg you can see above the water level, and most of the icebergs are immersed under the water. Ice cubes float on water. Why? Because the density of ice is less than the density of water. It is 970 kg per meter cube compared to water's density, which is 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so icebergs float on water. Since it is very close, its density is close to the density of the water, only part of it you can see above. Most of the iceberg is under the water. It is very dangerous. You must have seen Titanic ship, how it went and collided with the iceberg, and you know about the disaster. Okay, next we will move on to buoyancy. What is buoyancy? Do you know what is buoyancy? It is nothing but the force that acts on the body which is immersed in the liquid. It can be partly immersed or fully immersed inside the liquid. It is the force exerted by the liquid on the body which is immersed inside, partly or wholly underneath. Okay, and it is an upward force. Buoyant force is an upward force. It acts opposite to the force of gravity. It acts opposite. Buoyant force acts opposite to the force of gravity. Okay, and it is a vector quantity because it has magnitude and direction. It acts in the upward direction. Sometimes buoyant force can be more than the force of gravity. In that case, the body will float. If the buoyant force is less than the force of gravity, then the body gets immersed and it sinks into the water. Okay, so buoyancy or buoyant force is the force exerted by the liquid on the body which is wholly or partly immersed inside the liquid. Okay. Cartesian diver. Cartesian diver is made based on the principle of buoyancy or buoyant force. You can make this Cartesian diver at home. You need to take a bottle, fill the bottle with water up to the mouth of the bottle, and take a ink filler. Make the ink filler heavy enough. You can put some gem clips, add some gem clips to the ink filler to make it heavy enough so that it floats inside the water vertically. And now put the ink filler into the bottle, close the bottle tightly with the lid. When you press the bottle, what happens is the pressure inside increases. Now ink filler is filled with air bubble inside, and what happens to the air bubble? it gets compressed because air is compressible, water is incompressible. So when you apply pressure to the sides of the bottle, the air inside the ink filler gets compressed. So water enters into the ink filler, the bubble, the ink filler becomes heavy, so it sinks inside the water. When you release the pressure, what happens? The water from the ink filler comes out and the air bubble expands. So in this way you can see this ink filler moving up and down. Okay, so you can create a Cartesian diver at home based on the principle of buoyancy. Okay, next, Archimedes principle. Archimedes was a Greek philosopher and a scientist. Okay, once there's an interesting story behind Archimedes principle. Once the king of Greece, he gave some gold to a goldsmith and asked him to make a crown made out of pure gold. And later when the goldsmith brought the crown, he wanted to test if it was really made out of pure gold. So he gave the gold crown to Archimedes and asked him to check whether it is made out of gold. One day when Archimedes was going to bathe, he went into a bathtub. When he went into a bathtub, he found water spilling out of the tub, and he realized that the apparent loss of weight, his body weight, was equal to the weight of the water that spilled out. He came out saying, "Eureka, I found out." And then he later on took the crown to test. Okay, he tested it if it was made out of pure gold. So density, it is made, it is mass by volume. Then when he measured the mass of the crown, it was equal to the mass of the gold that was given to the goldsmith, but its volume varied. Using the principle, he tested and he found that the volume of the gold crown varied. If the volume varies, what also will vary? Density also varied, and he found that the gold crown was not made out of pure gold. When you put one index finger into a beaker of water, water rises slightly. When you put two fingers inside, you see the water rising up a little more. But when you put your hand inside, the water spills out. So when a body immersed in a fluid, it experiences a vertical upward buoyant force which is equal to the weight of the liquid that is displaced. How much ever the part of the body which is immersed inside, to that extent the water is displaced. So the weight of the water that is dispelled or which is displaced is equal, it experiences a buoyant force equal to the weight of the fluid it displaces. Okay, we can see a simple experiment to study Archimedes principle. Okay, body is taken, a stone is weighed, or a weight whose is measured, its weight is measured, and it is 5 kg in air. Now you take a beaker of water, fill it with the beaker of water. Now immerse the stone into the water, trough of water. You see, when you measure its weight, it is only 2 kgs. So what has happened when you put immerse the stone inside or the weight inside, some water gets displaced. Okay, the water that is displaced is equal to the apparent loss of weight. It is equal to the apparent loss of weight. 5 kg is the weight of the body outside. Now when it is immersed inside, it is only 2 kg. Is it really losing weight? No. There is only an apparent loss of weight. Why? There is a buoyant force that is acting on the stone from the bottom in the upward direction. So the weight of the water that is displaced is equal to the weight of the apparent loss of weight. So how much is the apparent loss of weight? 3 kg. So it is equal, the amount of water that is displaced is 3 kg. So the body experiences an upthrust which is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. Okay. Next, when you study, you also see that the upthrust is equal to weight of the fluid displaced, which is also equal to the apparent loss of weight by the body. Next, you will see that the apparent weight of the body is equal to the true weight. Apparent weight is equal to the true weight minus the water upthrust or weight of the water displaced. Next, let us study about the laws of flotation. What does the first law state? The weight of the floating body in a fluid is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. What do you mean by that? Weight of the floating body in a fluid is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. Okay, now let us consider again a simple experiment as we did in the previous case. Okay, an object is weighed outside in the air which is equal to 4 Newton. Now when you immerse it into the water, you see it loses an apparent weight. Okay, it is 4 meter in the air, but once it is immersed inside the water, it shows only 1 Newton. So the amount of weight, okay, apparent loss of weight is equal to the weight of the water that is displaced. So how much of water is displaced? 3 Newton of water is displaced. So weight of the floating body in a fluid is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. I repeat once again, weight of the floating body is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. Outside in the air, the weight of the body is 4 Newton. When you immerse inside, it appears to lose some weight. That weight is equal to the weight of the fluid that is displaced. Last, let us study about the second law of flotation. What does the second law of flotation state? The center of gravity of the floating body and the center of buoyancy are in the same vertical line. If you take a ship, how does a ship float? Stable. The center of buoyancy, the force exerted by the water on the ship, and the center of gravity of the ship, they lie along the same line. In that case, the body or the ship sails safe. If there is a change in the center of gravity and the center of buoyancy, there is a possibility of the ship to tilt and meet with an accident or get immersed. It will not float. It would just tilt and it would get sink into the water. Okay, so the second law states that the center of gravity of the floating body and the center of buoyancy are in the same vertical line. You can see the center of buoyancy, which is exerted by the water, is equal to the center of gravity. In that case, the ship will sail safe, stable, without tilting. Finally, let us look at the application of principle of flotation. Let us look at hydrometer. Hydrometer is an instrument which is used to find out the density or relative density of a fluid directly. Okay, now let us look at the construction of a hydrometer. It consists of a spherical bulb at the bottom attached to a long stem, and the bulb is filled with mercury or with lead shots, so that when you immerse the hydrometer into a fluid, it floats straight without tilting. And on the stem you see some readings graduated. These readings are nothing but the relative density of the liquid. So directly you can find out the density or relative density of a liquid using the hydrometer. You need to just put this instrument into the liquid whose density you're going to find out, and see to what extent the hydrometer gets immersed into the liquid, and from the corresponding reading you can note what is the density or relative density of the given liquid. Okay, now this hydrometer is calibrated to find out the purity of milk, and you call it as lactometer. And to find out the density of sugar in a liquid, you use an instrument called as saccharometer. And to find out the level of alcohol in spirits, you use alcoholometer. Okay, next let us study about the lactometer. I told you lactometer is used to test the purity of milk. So again, lactometer consists of a stem with a small bulb below, and on top you see a narrow tube which is graduated. Okay, here also the readings are graduated from 15 to 45. On top you have 15, below you have 45. Now you need to just immerse this hydrometer, lactometer into the milk. This is used to test the purity. If the milk is adulterated with water, you can find out. So if you immerse this lactometer into milk, if it gets immersed more, that shows that it is adulterated. There is more water. If it sinks to higher level, or if it sinks less, that means the milk is more pure. It is denser and it is pure. So from this we can check whether the milk is adulterated or whether water is added to milk. Okay children, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. We'll meet again tomorrow. Let us have a quick recap of what Miss taught today. Okay, tell me, what did she teach today? Do you remember? Yes, she taught about the floating and sinking objects depend on the density of the object and the density of the liquid. Next, she taught us about buoyancy or buoyant force. What is it? It is the force that acts on the object that is immersed inside the liquid in the upward direction. Okay, then she taught us about Archimedes' principle, and she told a very interesting story which we will never forget. Yes, then she taught us about the laws of flotation. Do you remember the 2 laws of flotation? Yes, and then finally she taught us about the application of principle of flotation, the hydrometer and the lactometer. Today's class was very interesting. Okay, let us meet again tomorrow. Goodbye.